Good morning, my little chickadees. How are you doing today? I thoroughly enjoyed everything that you guys posted on Twitter. It was so great seeing all your pictures and all your videos. Um, I don't know if any of you follow my son on Twitter, but he posted that his most important person in his life was his friend Connor, not his mother, who's been cooking for him every day. Just want to throw that out there. Okay, so today what we're going to do, it's April 1st. It's a little fuzzy. Let me just focus it in. Okay, all right, there we go. Okay, so we're going to use the double angle formulas today to actually solve equations. So if you have this written from the lesson from 2 days ago, keep it close because we're going to be using it. So basically, it's exactly what we have been doing. You've done problems like this where I give you sine of double angle minus sine theta equals 0. And I want you to solve this over the interval from 0 to 2 pi, including both. Okay, so sine of double angle. I can't solve this. The sine of double angle needs to be substituted. Okay, if I look at my double angle formulas, there's only one thing it can be, this. So what I'm first going to do is substitute this to the double angle formula. 2 sine theta cosine theta minus sine theta equals 0. Then if I look at this, I can factor out the sine. Now I'm just going back to a lesson we had like last week that you guys already got quizzed on. You take out the sine theta, you're left with 2 cosine theta minus 1 equals 0. Set both of them equal to 0. Sine theta is 0, so theta here is going to be 0 degrees or pi. Yes, and 2 cosine theta minus 1 equals 0. 2 cosine theta equals 1. Cosine theta equals 1/2. Cosine is positive here and here, so theta is going to be pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. I hope these values are coming to you a little more easily now. Okay, let me show you another one. That's all it is, guys. It's first you're going to do a substitute. So first, you're going to substitute for the double angle. And then you're just going to solve. And in this case, solving meant you had to factor first. Okay, let's try another one. Put that out of the way. Let's do a cosine one. Cosine's a little more tricky. So, number 2. Cosine 2a equals negative sine squared a. Now, with cosine, we have options. Let's move down to options. We can either use cosine squared minus sine squared for the cosine of the double angle. You know it's a double angle because it says this, 2 times the angle. Okay? 2 cosine squared minus 1 or 1 minus 2 sine squared. Now, since the other side of my equation is dealing with the function of sine, it's logical to use this one because it's the one that only has sine in it. So I'm going to replace this whole thing with 1 minus 2 sine squared. Well, we're using a here. A equals negative sine squared a. And now I'm just going to solve. I'll add sine squared a to both sides. 1 minus sine squared a equals nothing. I'll bring the 1 to the other side. I mean, technically I could factor this if you wanted. This is basically the difference of squares. I can separate this into 1 minus sine a, 1 plus sine a, like that, equals 0. This would work out to be 1 minus sine a equals 0, negative sine a equals negative 1, divide by negative 1, sine a equals 1, so a is equal to pi over 2, and then this I could do 1 plus sine a equals 0, sine A equals -1, A equals 3 pi, pi over 2. You could do it that way, or you could just bring the 1 to the other side and be left with negative sine squared A equals -1. Divide both sides by the -1, and then square root. And just remember, when you square root at this point, throw a division there, at this point you should know that when you square root, it's going to be positive or negative 1, which is the same answers I got here and here. So you could have done it both ways. You could have factored this out as a difference of squares, or you can have solved it this way. Okay, I'm going to do, what time is it? Okay, yeah, so I'm going to do one more problem with you. I just want to date this for 1. Trying to keep track of all the lessons that I'm giving you guys. Okay, one more, no more. Sine squared theta plus cosine double angle minus cosine theta equals 0. I need to stop writing theta, especially this early in the morning. I need to have my coffee. Okay. So obviously this is a double angle. How do I know that? It says 2 times the angle, double angle. So it's a cosine. We know cosine has a variety of substitutions. Since the equation has both sine and cosine, I'm going to use this one. Now, I could use either one of these. I'm not going to. If we were in the classroom, I would and show you, but I'm going to use this one. If you guys want to try it on their own, you're going to see that you're going to get the same answer. This one will work out. So there's no wrong answer. So sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. This is the substitution for that. Minus cosine theta equals 0. Well, I have a sine squared theta and a negative sine squared theta. When I combine them, they cancel out. Yay! And I'm left with cosine squared theta minus cosine theta equals 0. I look at this, I could factor out the cosine, and I'm left with the cosine of theta minus 1. And then again, I'm going to set them all equal to 0. When cosine is 0, we know that theta is going to be pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. And when cosine equals 1, we know the answer is going to be, you could write it as a 0 degree, or you could write it as 2 pi. I prefer the 2 pi, because I know this gets you confused when we have the 0. Okay guys, that's it for today's lesson. I hope you understand it. Basically, again, you're solving these equations, okay, but first you're doing a substitution of the double angle. Your homework again tonight is going to be in the textbook. Homework will be on page 352, numbers 9, 10, and 11. I know most of you should have your textbooks at home, because technically I told you at the beginning of the year to take them home, leaving them home. And I told you when this whole thing outbroke to have your textbooks at home. But if those of you, some of you do not have them, please reach out to me. If anyone knows how to access it online, also send me that information. All right, my little chickadees, enjoy your Wednesday, your April Fool's Day. Okay, don't do anything foolish. Stay away from each other. Okay, love yous all. Bye.